Welcome back to The Explainer. I'm so glad you're here because today we are going on an absolutely mind-bending journey. We're diving deep into the ancient Indian epic, the Mahabharata. But we're looking at a very specific, fascinating excerpt where these ancient scholars didn't just tell a compelling story, they literally mapped out the entire cosmos. It's this incredible blend of mythology, geography, and deep spiritual philosophy, and I seriously cannot wait to unpack the whole shebang with you. But before we look at the map itself, think about this for a second. How did ancient sages map a universe they couldn't even physically see? I mean, no telescopes, no satellites, right? Yet they built this incredibly detailed, systematic, and logical architecture of existence. They used a cosmic compass to explain not just where the gods lived, but the literal mechanics of life, time, and even the weather. Okay, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, mapping the cosmic compass. Second, ascending to Mahameru. Third, the realm of Narayana, and finally, the eternal engine of time. Let's jump right into part 1, mapping the cosmic compass.
So our cosmic tour guide for this journey is the wise sage Dhaumya. He takes King Yudhishthira by the hand, faces east, and starts with the massive Mount Mandara. Now, picture the east as this wonderfully lush region just packed with woods and forests. It's a zone of pure vitality, ruled by the celestial deities Indra and Vaisravana. And because it's in the east, obviously, this is the sacred spot where the sun rises. The text actually notes that sages and celestials all gather here to pay their adorations to the rising sun. It is literally the focal point of new life and daily renewal. And right away we see a huge theme in ancient cosmology. The balance of opposites. The east, Mount Mandara, is all about sunrise and life. But as Dhaumya turns the king's gaze to the south, the vibe completely shifts. The southern region is Sanyamana. It's ruled by King Yama, the lord of all living beings, and it's the sacred destination where the spirits of the departed go. The text describes it as beautiful and crowned with prosperity, sure, but it is undeniably the realm of endings, a total perfect contrast to the beginnings we just saw in the east. To finish up these earthly boundaries, Dhaumya points west. Out here, we hit another absolute monarch of mountains, Mount Asta. The text says that when the sun arrives here, it ever abideth by the truth, basically wrapping up its daily journey. But here's what's really fascinating. The ruler of this western domain is King Varuna, and Varuna protects creatures not just on the mountain, but in the vast deep. The west is deeply tied to the immense oceanic depths. And if you look at India's actual geography, the massive Arabian Sea sits right there to the west. It just goes to show how perfectly their lived, physical reality blended right into their cosmic mythology. Moving on to part 2, ascending to Mahameru. So, we've mapped the outer edges. Now let's shift our gaze straight up to the towering center of the universe. What exactly is Mahameru? Well, the text calls it a puissant, or incredibly powerful northern peak. It's got immense spiritual gravity. This is not just a mountain. It's the healthy, auspicious refuge for those who truly understand the universe. Right at the very top sits the court of Brahma, the great sire, surrounded by self-aware celestials. Basically, Mahameru is the golden axis that the rest of the cosmos literally revolves around. To really get a sense of the scale here, just look at who actually lives on Mahameru. You've got Prajapati, the creator of all mobile and immobile things, just rubbing shoulders with the 7 legendary mind-born sons of Brahma, including Daksha. Plus, it's the spot where the 7 celestial rishis, the great sages led by Vasishta, rise and set. It is quite literally a bustling headquarters populated by the celestial architects of existence. All right, part 3, the realm of Narayana. We've done the earthly compass, we've climbed Mahameru, but now the ancient text pushes us entirely out of physical space. We're looking just slightly east of Mahameru to this ultimate, unmanifested reality. I just want to pause and let the sheer majesty of this quote sink in. Dhaumya calls it that auspicious place composed of all energies even the celestials cannot behold. Think about that for a second. We literally just talked about the gods living on Mahameru, but this new realm is so intense, it outshines the sun and fire so completely that it is totally invisible, even to ordinary gods or Pandavas. So what is this place? It's the region of the high-souled Vishnu, or Narayana. This is the absolute pinnacle of the cosmic hierarchy. The text defines Narayana as the primal cause, the origin of everything. He's the self-create, eternal Lord with no beginning and no end. And the really incredible thing here is how they talk about light. On Mahameru, you've got the sun and the stars, right? But in Narayana's realm, No ordinary luminary can shine there. That eternal Lord just shines entirely alone, completely transcendental, by his own excellent grace. Which begs the question, if even the gods can't get in, who on earth can? Well, the text has a very specific answer, the Yatis. These are fiercely dedicated human ascetics. Through incredible reverence, severe austerities, and achieving what the text calls yoga success, they completely strip away ignorance and pride. And the ultimate payoff? By attaining that universal soul of Narayana, they never have to return to this world. They completely break the cycle, merging with an eternal essence.
Let's head into our final section, Part 4, the eternal engine of time. Now, as breathtaking as all that transcendental stuff is, our guide Dhaumya doesn't just leave the king floating in the metaphysical clouds. He brings us right back down to reality, revealing that everything we've looked at isn't just a static map. It's a massive moving machine. The sun and the moon course unerringly around that great northern mountain, Mahameru, every single day. And they do it in opposite directions. The sun's constant movement hides the stars during the day, while the moon and stars divide up the month. This continuous, mechanical orbit is the exact engine that animates the entire universe. Okay, this is where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. The Mahabharata takes this mythological orbit and uses it to perfectly describe a scientific reality we all know, the water cycle. Watch this. First, the sun heads south. That's winter and dew. Second, as it turns back, its rays draw up energy from all creatures, which is evaporation. The text literally says this causes perspiration and fatigue in humans. Third, the sun returns, causing showers. And fourth, that warmth and rain revive all mobile and immobile life. It's an astoundingly accurate ecological breakdown, beautifully wrapped in a cosmic narrative. And because the sun's orbit never ever stops, it acts as a literal wheel of time. This endless looping divides our existence into really precise measurable units. You've got the kastas, which builds into kala, which builds into day and then night. By constantly withdrawing energy and rendering it back, the sun isn't just hanging out in the sky like a light bulb. It is actively dealing out life and motion to everything, literally ticking away the seconds, hours, and days of our lives. Which brings us to the end of our journey today and leaves us with one seriously profound question. We've seen how the ancients mapped everything, the earthly compass, the heights of Mahameru, the unknowable realm of Narayana, and even the literal gears of our weather. So, if our daily weather and our very experience of time are just the mechanical gears of this vast spiritual structure, what exactly is our ultimate role within this cosmic machine? Are we just here to weather the seasons? Or are we, like those Yatis, meant to strive for something way beyond the map entirely? It is definitely a fascinating thought to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me for today's explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.